Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our January 4th, 2022 Board of Commissioners meeting. Please stand and join me for the pledge to the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Bob, agenda review. Anything to add?
Mr. Chair, there are no changes to the agenda today.
Move the agenda.
Got a first, do I have a second?
Second.
For the agenda? Got a first and a second for the agenda. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And do we need to do roll calls?
We maybe should do roll
Okay.
call. Since
We're
we
going to
have
do roll calls today. So agenda review, I have a motion and a second. Roll call, Stephanie, please.
Commissioner Pap,
Aye.
Commissioner Peepo,
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer, Chair Brunder.
Aye, motion carries. Appoint chair and vice chair. In our packet, we have a rotation for Mark People to be the chair and Colleen Landcamer to be the vice chair. Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Got a first, do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second? Any discussion? Okay, I have a motion and a second for the chair and vice chair, Mark People and Colleen Landcamer. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pap,
Aye.
Commissioner Peepo,
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer, Chair Brunder.
Aye. Motion carries. Congratulations, Mark. Thank you for the privilege of being able to serve as the chair for the last year. Have at her.
And thank you for your good works. And, okay, we'll start out here with the, I guess, the rest of the agenda review. We just look over the board committee assignments.
Yes, Mr. Chair and Commissioners, if there are any changes to the schedule that's listed in the packet, we can note them here. Otherwise, we would just need a motion to approve the committee assignments listed.
Okay,
Brunder will move approval.
second. So we have a motion and a first, a motion and a second. Okay. Any discussion?
Mr. Chair, I would just add that, and I'm not sure if it needs to be on here, but as the AMC representative, I'm going to be serving on the drainage work group, the Bowser Drainage Work Group. So I don't know if that pertains to this or not.
We can certainly add that to make it more transparent. When it's an AMC committee, it's not really required necessarily, but it is just a little more
They,
transparent.
you know, and I guess they get 2 spots, and there was an opening and asked me to serve on that.
Sure. We'll make a note of that.
All right. Any other? So, okay, we have it in front. I suppose, do we have to prove that, right?
Yep.
Yep, so all those in favor, say aye.
Roll call.
Then we have a roll call. Excuse me, we have to have a roll call. Stephanie, do the roll call. Sorry.
Commissioner Pap,
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder,
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer, Chair Peepo.
Aye. Okay, took care of that. Then we have the 2022 board meeting calendar. Everybody's in front.
Brunder will move approval of the calendar.
Pap seconds.
Brunder moves, Pap seconds. Any discussion? Okay, we have a roll call then. Stephanie on that?
Commissioner Pap,
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder,
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer, Chair Peepo.
Aye. Okay, that motion carries. At this point, we need to recess, I guess, and go into the Economic Development Authority annual meeting.
Yep.
So
We'll need a motion.
we need a motion for that. So
Motion to recess.
a motion of recess by Kevin and a second by Colleen. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Excuse me, roll call.
Excuse me, Commissioner Pap,
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder,
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer, Chair Peepo.
Aye. Okay. We have then in front of us, at this point,
Nancy.
Nancy? Yep. Thank you for coming.
So, Mr. Chair, if you'd like to call the EDA meeting to order,
Oh.
and then we have the elections.
Yeah, okay. Then I will ask to call the meeting of the Economic Development Authority in order.
Okay.
And So, okay, with that,
I would make a motion for the election of the officers. Chairperson Mark People, Vice Chair Colleen Landcamer, Secretary Vice Vance Struenberg, Treasurer Kevin Papp, and Executive Director Robert Meyer.
I would second, Pap seconds.
Kevin seconds, okay. Is there any discussion with that? Okay, then I guess, hearing none. Stephanie, you want to do the roll call?
Commissioner Papp?
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder?
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer? Chair People?
Aye. Okay, that passes. Okay.
Mr. Chair, then the agenda review, there are no changes to the agenda this morning.
Okay,
Brunder will move the agenda.
Pap seconds.
it's been moved in a second. Okay, we can take the roll call again. Stephanie?
Commissioner Papp?
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder?
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer? Chair People?
Aye. Okay, that passes, all right, and...
Brunder will move the minutes.
Landcamer seconds.
It's been moved in second. Okay, take the roll call again for the minutes.
Okay. Commissioner Papp?
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder?
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer? Chair People?
Aye. Okay. That passes, then, we have everything, then we're ready to
Hear from Nancy.
hear from Nancy.
Good morning.
Straight. Good morning, Nancy.
Good to see you.
Yep. You looking good here?
I'd like to present to you today the resolution for the 2020 Blue Earth County Public Housing Operating Budget. And this resolution, so you know that HUD does require the EDA to also approve this budget. So it was approved by the City of Mankato on December 6th. And so we're bringing it to you before we submit it to HUD for approval. And with the public housing budget, we do have, for the scattered sites, there's $425,000 annually. The Breckenridge project broken into two different parts. The public housing side is $55,450 and the market rate side is $72,750. And then we do have the capital improvement budgets that we're submitting. And for 2022, it is $318,000.
Okay.
So we are asking the board to approve this budget as presented.
Okay. Brunder will move approval of the operating budget for 22.
Okay.
Landcamer seconds.
Clean Landcamer seconds, okay. Is there any discussion?
I don't have any questions. Thank you
questions?
for putting it together
Yep.
and all your hard work every year.
Yep, that's for sure. Okay, well, hearing none, then I guess Stephanie, you take the roll call?
Commissioner Papp?
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder?
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer? Chair People?
Aye. Okay, the motion carries. Guess that. Thank you.
Citizens participation grant.
Yeah.
Yes, so every year in January, we do bring to you the Minnesota Cities Participation Program through Minnesota Housing, and that is a first-time home buyer program, and it does have down payment assistance monies, and so we do allocate specific dollars based on population for Blue Earth County, and then it is administered by the state, and as that money that has been allocated for us has been used up, then they do have other pots of money at the state that they're able to access, so we're able to serve a lot more families working through the state directly, and so the state does work directly with our local banks and administers this program. And so we've been doing it, well, we started again in 2017, and in 2017 we did serve approximately 13 families into home ownership, and now this past year we did serve 47, so we're really excited to see every year we're increasing the number of families that are participating. Definitely it is because of the banks that are working in our community on our behalf, and so we do have a list of those banks too, and we can share that with you if you'd like that information as well. This next year, with this grant application, we would like to even try to expand this even more, and we've been partnering with the Southwest Minnesota Housing Partnership, and they're hoping to find out this month if they are awarded funding from the state for some gap financing. And what they hope to do with that gap financing for homeownership is to tie in this funding through the state, the MCPP program, and also our Housing Choice Voucher to see how many more families we can tie in. It will be really nice because then we can definitely see what families on our Section 8 program are actually participating in the MCPP program. So it'll be exciting to see how that transpires over the year. But we do find out here this month sometime from the state if that program was awarded funding to support this program as well.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Landcamer?
I do serve on Southwest Minnesota Housing Partnership. I don't want any perceptions of conflict, so I'm going to recuse myself from this vote.
Okay. Got that?
So we'd just be asking that the commissioners approve this application and a grant agreement with the state of Minnesota.
Pat moves.
Brunder will second.
Okay. Been moved in second. Is there any further discussion? Okay, I guess Stephanie will take the roll.
Commissioner Pat?
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder?
Aye.
Chair Peepo?
Aye.
Right.
Passes then. That did?
Thank you, Nancy.
Yeah, thank
Happy
you.
New Year.
Yeah, thank you,
Things go
Nancy.
well for you this year.
Mhm.
Thanks for all your work.
Yep, thank you. All right.
Brunder will move to it.
Under moves to adjourn, is there a second?
Pap seconds.
Seconds, okay. I guess we'll take the roll.
Commissioner Pat?
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder?
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer?
Aye.
Chair Peepo?
Aye. All right. Then we go into the Regional Railroad Authority Annual Meeting. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Pap will move the slate of officers.
Okay, it's been moved.
Landcamer seconds.
It's been seconded. Kevin made the motion, okay. Any discussion? All those in favor? Excuse me, we got it. God. Roll call, Stephanie?
Commissioner Pat?
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder?
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer?
Aye.
Chair Peepo?
Aye. Okay, that passes. Do we have anything? Let's see
Mr.
here.
Chair, the agenda review, there is no changes to
There's no
this
changes
agenda
to the
today.
agenda review.
Okay, Brunder will move the agenda.
And a
Landcamer
second?
seconds.
Clean seconds. Okay. Then roll call.
Commissioner Pat?
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder?
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer?
Aye.
Chair Peepo?
Aye. Okay, passes.
Brunder will move the minutes.
Pap seconds.
Okay, it's been moved in second for the minutes. Okay, any?
I don't have any questions or comments.
Pardon?
I don't have any questions.
Oh, you don't have any questions?
straightforward.
Pretty straight.
1 minute meeting last year.
Yeah, it was, and it's the same here. Okay, if there's none, I guess Stephanie will take the roll.
Commissioner Pat?
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder?
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer?
Aye.
Chair Peepo?
Aye. Okay.
Pap moves to adjourn.
Pat, is this
Brunder
gonna
will
ask-
second.
Okay. It's been moved in second for adjournment. Take the roll call.
Commissioner Pat?
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder?
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer?
Aye.
Chair Peepo?
Aye. Okay, take care of that. Let's see. Do we have to then move into our regular board meeting?
Reconvene the meeting.
So, yeah. So, okay. All right. You have to,
Let's reconvene Ryan's up.
we have to
Yep, just
reconvene.
bring
and
Mr.
There he is.
Tilges up.
Yep. Bring Ryan up for Public Works.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning,
Morning,
Ryan.
Ryan.
How are you doing today?
Doing well yourselves?
Good.
Imagine you're enjoying this weather.
It's not too bad. We're supposed to get a little shot tonight, but we'll see if it amounts to anything.
And the weather forecast for the next 10 days doesn't look brutally cold. I mean, a couple cold days, but
Yes, that last snowstorm with the freezing rain before it is always the worst kind to have. Freezing rain and the temperatures drop and that snow
Yeah.
sticks and the ice. And our guys were putting in extra hours to make sure that the roads were safe and passable, and Did a great job as always. So, one action item today for your consideration of award of an engineering design services contract for County State Aid Highway 13. This is the segment from US Highway 169 to County State Aid Highway 1 southwest of the city of Good Thunder. We sent out a request for proposals to 3 firms. They all provided proposals for the work. The work includes design of the road, so full engineered plans, permitting, and then also design for 2 bridges, one large bridge over a river and a second bridge that's technically just a large box culvert over a county ditch. So those were included with the road design. We received 3 proposals, and they're listed with our cumulative evaluations in your board packet. SRF was the highest scoring consulting firm, followed by Bolton and Mink, and then Stonebrook Engineering in third. So with that being said, SRF did provide the lowest overall project cost, which is not an entire defining factor of who we award the contract to. As you see, that does resemble 35% of the overall score, and the other factors play in, but we tend to make a practice of sending these out to pretty good firms that we've had a good track record with, so we received good proposals from all. SRF did come out on top, so with that I would recommend award of the engineering design services contract to SRF Consultant.
Okay,
Brunder will move approval for the contract for SRF.
we have a second.
Landcamer seconds.
Clean Landcamer seconds. Okay, any discussion regarding the award?
I just have a question. Stonebrook, are they local or
They're not
Metro?
local, they're out of, is it Burnsville, I believe?
Burnsville? Okay.
Yep,
Because we've gotten a couple more firms coming up through the ranks in town.
yeah.
This-
Some of them that have moved into town don't really have a transportation component that's been
Okay,
marketed to us yet.
sure.
Some are
Well, SRF does a great job for us, and Bolton and Nick would have done a great job too.
Yep.
This is,
That'd be the other one.
The bridge design component was one that also restricted who we sent these
Sure.
out to.
yeah, you want it all done in one shop.
Correct.
The only questions I had, Mr. Chair.
All right, any other questions? Ryan? Okay, hearing none. I guess Stephanie, want to take the roll?
Commissioner Pap,
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder,
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer,
Aye.
Chair Pepo.
Aye.
All
right.
right, with that, I'll roll into some information items. Please jump in with questions as we go. Project updates, County State Aid Highway 1 from 9 to 90. The work has been suspended for the winter. We anticipate, or that will resume in spring 2022 for completion in this year of 2022. As a reminder, County State Aid Highway 1 is closed from 193rd to 195th, or through what we call the chute. That area is in pretty tough condition, as that was the active work zone, and drainage structures were about halfway completed, and soils were fairly soft towards the end of the year, so we thought it was prudent to not fight it. We do have detours posted. One official detour is posted via CSA 35 to CSA 16 leading to 90. And an alternate route would be to carry farther north to CSA 9 that would then carry you to CSA 33, again leading back to CSA 90. The 3 bridges we have left that are funded on County State Aid Highway 40, County Roads 151 and County Road 169. The bridges on 40 and 151, 100% plans will be submitted to MnDOT State Aid for approval this week. And County Road 169 is scheduled to open bids on February 2nd. So we're in good position to have those 3 bridges out to bid early this year and hopefully get the work underway fairly early and completed in the first half of the construction season. Always like to try to avoid conflicting with harvest season if at all possible, especially on those bridge projects. CSA 7 in Mapleton, the right-of-way acquisition is underway. Not a lot of parcels necessary, but there are quite a few easements that need to be completed, especially for the sidewalk in town. The city's going to be working on that, on obtaining those temp easements that are necessary, and plans are developing nicely. We anticipate opening bids on February 16th. Again, so another project that's in good shape. CSA 10 and 72 in Vernon Center. Those plans do have USDA funding, so they're actually over to the USDA right now for plan review. After the USD provides their approval or consent, the plans will be sent to MnDOT state aid, and we'll be then looking at probably bidding that project sometime in February. With my correspondence with the city's consultant engineer from SEH, they stated that the cost estimates are coming in for the entirety of the work quite a bit higher than they had originally anticipated. So they are looking at doing some bid alternative packages that they could swap pieces in and out depending on how the project costs come in to help manage overall project cost. I believe a lot of it was with respect to wastewater treatment facilities and components. So that project is moving along, going through the additional process and being managed again by the city's consultant engineer firm. CSAH 11 from CSAH 20 to Minnesota Highway 68 plans are at about 90% and progressing nicely. Right-of-way acquisition is moving along well. Jack is at approximately 50% on that, so I think we're in pretty good shape with that project. Waiting for a few appraisals and other items, and we do anticipate bidding that in the early spring, but it's too early to tell a definitive date yet. CSAH 12 from 26 East to CSAH 2. The 100% plan should be submitted to MnDOT state aid later this month, so those are progressing nicely as well. And CSAH 16 from the Sewer River to CSAH 90 state aid plan production will resume as a priority after the CSAH 11 plans are submitted to state aid, so that'll likely be a later let date. That project's just kind of always been on the outer fringe as other priority projects have kind of continued to bump it back a little bit, but we are still looking to try to deliver that this year. And as we just approved the CSAH 13 design contract, we'll anticipate having a project kickoff meeting either later this week or next week, so that we can get SRF going on that project design. And CSAH 26, the last one, from 57 to Minnesota Highway 22. Similar to County State Highway 13, proposals were received, this time only from two firms, Bolton & Mink and SRF, for design engineering services. Bolton & Mink actually in this circumstance was slightly higher than SRF, however their project understanding and approach was scored higher. So we did award the design contract to Bolton & Mink for CSAH 26 on the north side of Mankato. And then just a couple of discussion or additional information items, not project related. And I believe I had a typo on this item number 3. This was a carryover from last month and it wasn't intended to be, but our Blue Earth County 2022 to 2026 Transportation Improvement Plan, which was formerly our Capital Improvement Plan. I thought I'd revisit the acronym to fall it in line with how MnDOT, because we don't actually have capital purchases such as the equipment listed in this plan, so I want to change it to more of a transportation improvement plan. It's nearly completed in draft format. We anticipate a draft version should be posted on the county website in the coming weeks, and then we'll do some trucks until 20 because of manufacturing delays, which is unfortunately becoming more and more common. The current approved 2022 Public Works budget does have $193,000 for replacement of a tandem truck in calendar year 2023. What we would like to do with the county board's approval would be to actually open up a second bid for the 2023 tandem truck to avoid that additional future delay of waiting until early 2023 and then having to wait another year to get a truck. So what we would do is we would order effectively 2 trucks this year. One would be out of the 2022 budget. The other one would be paid in 2023, and then hoping to get them. And part of the reason it's a little bit of a hardship for us is because...
Well, the request, is there a second?
Pap seconds.
Pap seconds. Okay, any discussion?
I just got a quick question, Mr. Chair. Are these trucks, the trucks, I mean, I know our shop is restrictive, and if we do end up building a newer, bigger building, are these trucks at the capacity, or is there a longer truck, a bigger truck that we might look at in the future?
That's a good question. They've grown substantially from what we used to purchase to where that I believe we're utilizing the capacity that's available so that we could have
Oh, we are,
an
okay.
80,000-pound loaded truck
Okay.
and have more volume of sand, salt, gravel to haul.
Yeah, I assume they're about as big a truck as you can get.
I believe so. I
That's
could,
just a thought we might have, because if the reason why we've been
if we should go a few feet longer.
streaming them back is because the shop just can't accommodate them. And in the future, I mean, I don't think we would change the order on these because we're not far enough along the process with our
Right.
shop, but that just might be something we
Yeah,
might
that-
want to talk with your staff about.
We'll do that.
It just, and I don't know how much bigger they can get. They certainly can't
Yeah.
get any wider, but they can certainly get a little longer and have more capacity, but.
some of those I know we saw in Wisconsin had the additional drop axles.
The triple axle, that's why I was asking the question, because I thought,
But
was
they
that?
have different, I think, oversight over weight
Yeah.
laws.
I
Different
didn't know if that was
Yeah,
actually
they-
a bigger truck or had more capacity or what, but just a thought that I had while we were talking trucks.
That was a good point to bring up.
Okay,
That's all I had, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, Ryan? They were good ones. Well, sounds good, then.
Okay.
Steph, you will call.
Roll call.
Yep.
Okay. Commissioner Pap,
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder,
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer,
Aye.
Chair Pipo.
Aye. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
The last item I have is just some discussion and information about the CASA 17/27 R cut at US Highway 14, just east of Eagle Lake, and a proposed traffic control alteration. The intersection's recently had a second pretty significant crash. Fortunately, I think it was a minor injury crash and not a major injury or fatality. That's the second crash of this type in my recent recollection since this alteration to the intersection where the R cut was installed. Obviously, this intersection is very near and dear to me, so I tend to pay close attention to it just based on geography. But following that crash, I actually went out the night of the crash when I saw the lights and spoke with the state patrol to try to figure out what happened, and was happy to hear that both people were able to walk away with having to go to the hospital still. But following that, I spoke with the MnDOT District 7 traffic engineer, Scott Thompson, about the severity of the crash and the number of these types of crashes over the last few years. And the common trend has been that people fail to yield when they're on this movement has been eastbound Highway 14, turning left onto northbound CASA 27. And failure to yield when they go into that left turn lane, they're in a guarded median left turn lane, there's only a yield condition. And there is some vertical and horizontal curvature. There's adequate sight distance, but there is some curvature that doesn't make it really obvious as you look at the oncoming westbound Highway 14 traffic. So I recommended to Scott that perhaps we should consider putting in stop bars, stop signs, and forcing, or at least as much as we can, force traffic to actively stop, assess the oncoming traffic gaps, and then go from there. He liked the idea, and we talked about that it could be an iteration before a next step. And he was able to bounce that off of several other traffic engineers throughout the Minnesota Department of Transportation, and they were in agreement that this would be a good next step. So MnDOT is going to be making those alterations to the intersection, removing the yield condition, putting in a stop sign, stop bars, stop ahead signs, I believe, as well. So I hope that helps improve the intersection safety, because if it doesn't, the next step is likely going to be closure of those left turn movements and forcing all of the traffic to go all the way around to the R cut end and making the complete U-turn. One thing I would note is that as part of the 2022 R cut project going in at CASA 56 on Highway 14 by Casey's in Eagle Lake, they are going to be extending the westbound Highway 14 onto northbound CASA 27 right turn lane farther so that it comes out all the way to the end of the R cut. That was another recommendation that we had, and I questioned why that was never done, because right now if you're going north on 17/27, you can just kind of shoot diagonally across Highway 14 without having to merge with the different lanes of traffic. So you only have to pick that 2-lane gap to make it across. Whereas the other turning movement to the north, you have to kind of weave with traffic and make sure both lanes are clear and actually accelerate farther down Highway 14. So wanted to bring that to the board's attention, obtain any feedback that you may have before those changes are made, if there are any concerns.
Well, the only concern that I have out there, Mr. Chair, is
Mr.
It's still a dangerous intersection, unfortunately. And, I suppose we should probably start to figure out where an interchange will fit out there again, because that's what's going to have to come eventually. And we might have to, you and I might have to sit down and start just getting that on the table and see where it fits, because I think we've had discussions about this. I think it's going to, I know we purchased that one corner of that property, the county did a long time ago, on that corner, just kitty corner from the church, just so we had control of it. But after visiting with you, I think we have some real challenges there, even putting a interchange there anyways, with the railroad tracks, the wetland, the cemetery, the church.
Brought with challenges.
Yes.
That corner.
Probably wasn't a good idea for us to buy that corner, not that it was relatively inexpensive at the time, so
Yes.
we certainly didn't want to have someone pop up another building there, so if we did want to do something. But there are some serious challenges there. And even on the 56, the Casey's intersection, I have real concerns about that being adequate yet after they do the arc cuts. I'm very supportive of people just using 12. I use it all the time. I can be coming down the County Road 55 and going to Mankato on the highway, and I still go out to 12. And I don't care what time. I used to just do that during rush hour, 8 and 5, but now I don't even try to get on that highway. It's just so easy to go to 12.
Right.
And I think if we can just get that traffic pattern to go that way, people will be frustrated at first, but I've timed it out a few times, and it's not that much more.
Right.
Figuring not waiting at all at 56, but just that extra route of going out to 12.
Yep.
Just a much safer route.
We have something included in the Maple Long Range Transportation Plan as well about that. It didn't rise to the one that fell as a short, mid, or near term, or far term, long term project, but it was listed as an illustrative, because I agree, and I share the sentiment with you that eventually, if development, especially if the city jumps the railroad or the Highway 14 and the railroad tracks and starts development on the north side of Highway 14, it's going to be imperative that an interchange be constructed.
I was visiting with some of the volunteer fire department guys, and they had a couple pretty good ideas. And I think you've talked to one of them for sure about this. But is there a possibility of putting some signs up as you come out of Casey's that like those alternative route signs? I know our roads get cluttered with signs to go to 12. Encourage people to go to 12 instead of using the R cut. But just some thoughts that he had, which I don't know if they do any good.
That's always the question, is if we put them up, will they do good?
Will they read them?
I'm wondering if social media
Maybe it'll
outreach
distract
from the
them.
city would
Might
be.
just be something. I think the people that don't know the area might be more apt to use that County Road 12. I don't know, but I certainly like it, and I certainly support using 12. I just don't care for going out on that. Even with that acceleration lane, it's still hard to get across that intersection. People are sitting out in the middle out there, and it's just not a good.
Agreed. We could take a look at a signing plan, and
You just keep it in mind when they start talking about that intersection.
that might be a good one to revisit too after the R-Cut project is completed too.
Yeah.
Not that it'll change how the alternate route would
No.
be posted, so.
And when does it? So will that arc cut be set up with the stop signs then, you think, or will that, like you're doing on 17, or will that?
I
just
would
do the
anticipate
yield?
that, yeah, they
They'll
would
just do it
go
all
with
the
the
same?
stop signs. I haven't seen any plan development at all on that yet, but would anticipate that if we're gonna put stop signs further to the east, they would want light condition.
Yeah, and then refresh my memory. I know we've talked about this in the past, but the flashing yellow signs that you see on 60 as you're heading towards Faribault that tell you the drivers approaching, and
We talked about
they're
those.
confusing to me, but
They're proven ineffective.
have they? Okay.
MnDOT's moving away from
Okay,
using them.
All right, I thought that's where we're going with that.
I
discussion.
threw that out, and I kind of knowing the answer, and I got the answer back that I expected, but
Yeah, I just, they seem, but I think a stop sign will help, because at least people will yield then.
I hope so.
So, all right, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
That is all I have. so.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you for your
Anybody have
time.
anything else, questions? So, okay. Appreciate,
Thank you, Ryan.
Have a good rest of the
appreciate
day.
what you coming in.
Have a good New Year. Tell your guys to be safe,
Yeah.
All right.
your people. Be safe.
Okay, I guess we're into, we have to approve the Board of Commissioners minutes.
Brunder will move approval of the minutes.
It's been, is there a second?
Pap seconds.
Second, okay. Any discussion? I guess we're then, Stephanie, have to take the roll call again.
Commissioner Pap,
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder,
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer. Commissioner Landcamer's muted.
Oh, she-
No, I'm not. Aye.
Aye, okay.
Chair Pipo.
Aye. Okay, motion carries. Then we have the bills.
Pap moves the bills.
It's been moved by Kevin and Colleen second. Okay. Any discussion, questions? Time to stump Bob, if it's
I
possible.
don't have any questions, Mr. Chair.
Good.
None that haven't already been answered anyways.
All right, if we're hearing none, any questions, and hearing no questions, Stephanie, you want to take the roll?
Commissioner Pap,
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder,
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer,
Aye.
Chair Pipo.
Aye. So, motion carries. That takes care of the bills. And we just have, I guess, our, right now, Human Resources.
Yes, Mr. Chair and Commissioners, item number 9, I guess, in
9.
your packet is the Human Resources Department agenda. We do have a number of action items for the board's consideration this morning. The first 3 items are all kind of related. They are 3-year agreements with our AFSCME bargaining groups. All 3 of these groups negotiated together for the first time, and so while they're separate contracts, these are negotiated agreements that were done collaboratively. The first is the Assistant County Attorney contract. Again, it's a 3-year deal for calendar years 22 through 24. I can give you just a quick rundown of some of the items. Part of the reason these groups bargain together is to bring a little more consistency across the various contracts, and so we did add some language about a healthcare savings plan to the Assistant County Attorney's contract, which is very similar or is actually the same as what we saw in the other 2 contracts. We did add a provision that allowed for a cash out of some excess vacation time at the end of the year into a healthcare savings plan, which had not been in this particular contract, but is consistent with the Human Services and Courthouse units. We did also make an adjustment to some language that has the sick leave payout go into a healthcare savings plan, which is beneficial to both the employee and employer should an employee terminate employment. We made some adjustments to the language in the funeral leave article, which again makes it consistent with other bargaining groups. We had some additional language that was added that committed the county to pay 50% of the high deductible or the deductible in our high deductible health plans. This was kind of a major issue for all 3 of these groups to get the 50% instead of a set dollar amount, but in order to reach an agreement, we did agree to the 50% contribution, which is where we have historically been, but this does kind of change it if that deductible changes into the future. The increase in the wages is consistent with other agreements that we've reached with bargaining groups at the $1.50 per hour flat rate for 2022 and 2023, and then a 3.25% increase in the 3rd year. In terms of the Human Services and Courthouse unit agreements, just running down a few of the things that were modified there. We did increase the on-call pay provisions for both the Human Services staff who provide on-call services, as well as our facility staff in the courthouse unit that provide some on-call coverage. We did make some language change that, again, allows new employees to utilize accrued vacation during their probationary period. That was viewed as a benefit for those new employees that have plans when they're hired, and it reduces some of the administrative headaches that we were encountering. We did increase the amount of hours that could be converted to a healthcare savings plan when there was excess vacation, increased it from 50 hours to 60 hours. We did some language cleanup on the language around elections, just to make it a little more consistent with statute. We again made modifications to the language that indicated that the employer will pay 50% of the deductible or make that contribution to an HSA for those individuals that select that high deductible plan. And then, again, the wages reflect the $1.50, and 3.25%. Items D and E are memorandums of understanding that we are putting out there to unions that had agreements in place for 2022. You may recall that those agreements had a 35-cent per hour flat increase in 2022. These memorandum of understandings would increase that by $1.15 to match the $1.50 for 2022 that would be in those AFSCME contracts. So if the board is so inclined, staff are recommending approval of all those action items.
You want one motion for them?
Yeah. that's what
I
we're
think
doing.
we can
Do
work
one?
with that.
Okay,
Brunder would move all of the 3 contracts and the 2 adjustments. Memorandums of
adjustments.
understandings.
okay. And is there a second? Any second? Everybody understand? Colleen seconds. Is there any discussion, questions?
Nope,
Yep.
good negotiating, thanks to staff and the unions for all the hard work, and we all know this is a little different process, and appreciate everybody coming to the table and working through it, so,
I would echo that.
my only comment.
All right. Hearing none, I guess Stephanie, we can do the roll call.
Commissioner Pap?
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder?
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer?
Aye.
Chair Pipo?
Aye. The motion carries.
Then under informational items,
Information.
just running down the list there, we have filled a correctional officer, at least a part-time position in our jail. We also have filled an on-call library clerk position. We had a lateral transfer as a SHIP assistant to our public health specialist in SHIP, so that lateral adjustment does not result in any change in salary. Then we did have a resignation of our civil process specialist, and so we've initiated recruitment to refill that position. We also had a resignation of an investigator in the sheriff's office, and so we've initiated recruitment to fill that position. Also a resignation of a library clerk, so we've initiated recruitment there. And then we had a revision of a resignation date for a correctional officer. I'd be happy to answer any questions that the board might have on any of those informational items.
Anybody have any questions regarding any of that?
No questions?
Yeah. Looks good.
All right. Item number 10 in your packet, Mr. Chair and Commissioners, is resolution regarding setting the attorney and sheriff 2023 minimum salary. Minnesota statutes do require the county board to set by resolution the minimum salary of the officers to be elected in the 2022 general election. What we've done is selected the lowest step on the band and grade that the county attorney and county sheriff are currently placed on, and so that would be the minimum salary to be designated here today.
Okay.
Landcamer moves approval.
Colleen moves the approval.
Brunder will second.
Second. Kevin, and Kip seconds. Okay, I guess any questions? Discussion, all right. If you, Stephanie, want to take the roll?
Commissioner Pap,
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder,
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer,
Aye.
Chair Pipo.
Aye. Aye. So, carries, so that takes care of that.
Well,
Thank you,
Mr. Chair and
Bob.
Commissioners, item number 11 in your packet is the crop damage payment schedule. Each year at this meeting, the county board sets a crop damage schedule. We've consulted with our extension partners to present to you yields and price per bushel recommendations. Obviously, as we get later in the year, there may be changes that could potentially be needed, but in order to set a rate at this point in time, we do it here in the organizational meeting, and then if there is substantial change in primarily the price throughout the year, we could look at revising this resolution later on.
Pap moves.
Brunder will second.
Seconded by Brunder. Any discussion?
I guess I would just add, as we look at this, appreciate the ability to have fluctuation on the price. I think at some point we need to look at the yield. I know it's been at least 7 years where we haven't made any changes on the yields. And I think we have to argue that the yields haven't stayed the same in the last 7 years with technology and everything else. So as we move forward, we want to consider that next year.
And are you referring primarily to corn and soybeans?
Corn and soybeans, yeah, I'm not going to speak to oats or wheat.
Because we did revise those, but
Okay.
yeah, the corn and soybeans.
On oats and wheat, do we have much of that?
Not a lot, but just doing a little research before the meeting. I know I only went back 7 years and we haven't updated any yields on corn and soybeans in the last 7 years.
Wheat was the historical item. Wheat was the prominent crop in when the state was found, or put together, and Blue Earth County was formed. I remember that, but there you go. That's your tidbit. It was
Fine.
big time.
Yeah, and these are just numbers, that we can adjust during the year, but I have
Yeah.
to tell you, my 20th year starting this year, I don't think I've ever had a discussion or a discrepancy. We don't use it very often. And I think there's one time on a ditch project that someone was, I don't remember if it was the yield or if it was the price, but we had a little bit of a misunderstanding and had maybe made some adjustments. But other than that, it's not a very used part of our system. So, but thank you, Kevin, for those comments.
All right. Hearing no other discussion, we can have a motion.
Do we have a motion and a second on that?
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay, Stephanie, you want to take the roll?
Commissioner Pap,
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder,
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer,
Aye.
Chair Pipo.
Aye. Motion carries. All right.
Well, Mr. Chair and Commissioners, item number 12 in your packet is the 2022 publishing bids. I do need individual motions on each one of these items. We did go out for bids, and you'll see the recommended newspaper by the asterisk beside the lowest bidder. So starting with the delinquent tax list, the low bidder was the Maple River Messenger.
Brunder moves.
Pap seconds.
Okay, moved in second. Any further discussion? All those, do a roll call, please, Stephanie?
Commissioner Pap,
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder,
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer,
Aye.
Chair Pipo.
Aye.
Next would be the Board of Commissioner and Board of Equalization summaries. Again, the Maple River Messenger would be the low bidder.
Brunder will move.
Under moves, there's second.
Pap seconds.
Second. Okay. Stephanie, you want to take the roll?
Commissioner Pap,
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder,
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer,
Aye.
Chair Pipo.
Aye.
Next would be the legal notices for 2022, and here we are recommending the Mankato Free Press.
Landcamer moves.
Clean moves to
Pap seconds.
second. Okay. Any discussion? We used to have something every year, but maybe not now. Okay. All right, Steph, you want to take the roll?
Commissioner Pap,
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder,
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer,
Aye.
Chair Pipo.
Aye.
Next would be the layout for the annual financial statement, and we're recommending the Mankato Free Press.
Pat moves.
Second.
Second by Clean. Okay, any discussion? Questions? All right, Stephanie, take the roll.
Commissioner Pap,
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder,
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer,
Aye.
Chair Pipo.
Aye.
Next is the printing of the annual financial statement, and again, the Mankato Free Press.
Okay,
Landcamer moves.
Brunder will second.
second. It's been moved in second. Any discussion? All right, Stephanie, take the roll, please.
Commissioner Pap,
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder,
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer,
Aye.
Chair Pipo.
Aye. Okay, the motion carries, and that,
Next then would be the insertion rate for the annual financial statement. Statute does recommend or require that we do this in 2 newspapers, and so recommending the Mankato Free Press and the Maple River Messenger.
okay. Is there a motion?
Landcamer moves.
Okay.
Brunder
Clean
will
moves.
second.
Okay, and, okay, we got a first and a second. Stephanie, take the roll.
Commissioner Pap,
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder,
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer,
Aye.
Chair Pipo.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, that concludes that. All those in that.
All right, Mr. Chair and Commissioners, item number 13 in your packet is the annual resolution regarding the bounty fee for gophers. We have not changed the rate. It's currently set at $1 per pocket gopher and $1 per 13-line ground squirrel, and recommending that same rate for 2022.
Pat moves.
Brunder will second.
It's been moved and second. Any discussion? Sometimes we get some discussion, but maybe it's not going to be any different. Not with Kevin here, but we had that last time, so I guess. I know we're just,
Grandson's a year older, so we're working on it.
okay, working on it. Okay, just so you know where to turn them in. Yeah. Hearing that, let's see, we have motion to, do we need a motion to move second?
We got a motion.
We have a
We do have that, excuse me. Then we should have the roll call, I'm sorry.
Commissioner Pap,
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder,
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer,
Aye.
Item number 14 in the packet is a memo regarding the loan interest rates. Annually, the board is asked to review and set the interest rate at this meeting for the small cities revolving loan and the ditch balance loan interests. And so our policy states that the interest rate shall be 0.5% less than the prime rate on the date of the organizational meeting, but shall not exceed 8% or be less than 4%. The prime rate currently is about 3.25%, so we are recommending the rate be set at 4% for 2022.
4%, okay. We have a motion.
Brunder will move approval.
Pat seconds.
Been moved in second. This is for the small cities loans. Okay. It's been moved in second. Any just further discussion?
Nope.
Okay. Stephanie, take the roll, please.
Commissioner Pap,
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder,
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer,
Aye.
Chair Pipo.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, so then, let's see, is that the same?
Yep, that's part of that resolution,
That's what I
Mr. Chair,
figured,
so
yeah.
that's all I have for you.
It's all the same, yep, okay. With that, let's see, we just have then the, we're complete.
Just reports.
For the reports, anybody have any, got reports? We only had like a week.
I can start,
guess
Mr.
Kip,
Chair.
yep.
I don't have a whole lot with
Kip,
the
can you
holidays.
start? Yep.
The 2 holidays, we had some time off, and extended weekends for a lot of people. But I did have a couple ditch items that we dealt with after the last board meeting, and then a little bit of discussion about County Ditch 35 with some different people, and then we had an MRCI meeting, and everything is going really well there. Again, same thing I report every month, we're having problems finding help, but financially they're setting good and still moving forward with trying to get more of the vans going and programs going. And other than that, that brings me up to today, Mr. Chair.
Okay, good. Kev?
Since the December 21st county board meeting, my only activity has been, as Commissioner Brunder has mentioned, JD 1 and 2, as well as JD 36 meetings. That ends my report.
Thank you, Kevin. Let's see, clean, you've been
I've got plenty.
some virtual?
Yeah, I had a shack meeting, State Board of Health, and so the discussion was that we're going to be virtually much longer than we expected. The importance of vaccines, people getting vaccinated, social distancing, masking. We did a hot wash on what are the community corrections, what public health collaboratives are there out there, and how do we work together with those. There's no doubt the disparities are real, and the social determinants of health are something that really is important as we go through this. Question is, where do we go from here? And what do we need from public health to assist our communities as we move forward? And now with the new variant out there, they think that it's really going to hit hard. People may not get as sick if they're vaccinated and boosted, but the hospitals are full right now. So that's shack. With KIP, I had County Ditch 35 discussion, more to come on that. Yesterday I had Finance and Intergovernmental Affairs with NACO. If you look at the NACO website, the Futures Lab, there's a lot of information on how counties have invested their ARPA dollars, and most of it's going to health, human services, and transportation. That's where where most of the money seems to be going. Those are the 3 top priorities so far that they've seen. As you dig down a little farther, you've got housing, equity issues, and rural communities. So communities under 50,000. So a lot of information on NACO's website on how those dollars are being spent, where they're being spent, and it's a really nice website. There's also a COVID-19 clearinghouse that can show you by county across the nation where what the numbers are for COVID on a 7-day rolling average. We also talked about the Department of Treasury and the interim reports. People who, the counties that are over 250,000 have had to have their reports in now. We're due on April 30th. Still under an interim rule, so we're still waiting for the final rule, which they hope will come any week now, but we were told it was going to come any week now earlier, so just waiting on that. A lot of discussion on the 2022 voting rights bill and the Build Back Better. They think that's what the discussion will be as Congress reconvenes. As they talk about voting rights bill, the filibuster will probably come up too. So we'll see. Those seem to be what the focus will be as Congress reconvenes. There hasn't been any progress on the funding bill in the House or the Senate to fund the federal government. And Biden's fiscal year 2023 budget is due in a month. So, stay tuned. Lots going on. So that's kind of my report from the last couple weeks.
Okay, thanks, Colleen. I don't have too much to add because with Christmas and all, I did have the JD 1 and 2 and the JD 36 prepare and the setting dates hearing on that, and there's on the first one or 2. So that's all I had. Like the rest here, that concludes mine. So, all right. Anything else?
Recess or adjourn?
Yep,
Adjourn.
I think we adjourned, right? Yeah.
Brunder will move to adjourn.
Pap seconds.
Been moved in second? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Roll call.
Oh, we can't do that? Take a, yeah. Stephanie?
Commissioner Pap,
Aye.
Commissioner Brunder,
Aye.
Commissioner Landcamer,
Aye.
Chair Pepo.
Aye. Okay. Meeting adjourned.